Hello dissectors, welcome back to Poem Dissection 101, where you choose a poem for us and we will dissect the poem for you. And I am your host today, my name is Elleanna. The chosen poem for today is Sonnet 27 by William Shakespeare. So what a wonderful choice! Now let's start by reciting the poem. Sonnet 27 by William Shakespeare. Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed, the dear repose for limbs with travel tired. But then begins a journey in my head, to work my mind when body's works expired. For then my thoughts, from far where I abide, intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep my drooping eyelids open wide, looking on darkness which the blind do see, save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which, like a jewel hung in ghastly night, makes black night beauteous and her old face new. Lo, thus, by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for myself no quiet find. Wow! Looks like Shakespeare did an amazing job in writing the poem. So, before we start, I am going to tell you what a sonnet is. A sonnet is made up of 14 lines. And to begin our dissection, I will divide the parts into 4 parts. The first part will be from line 1 to 4. Second part would be from line 5 to 8. Third part would be from line 9 to 12. And the last part would be a couplet, which is line 13 and line 14. Now, I will explain the meaning of the sonnet based on my understandings. For the first part, we can see in the first line, the speaker tells us that he is weary after working on some kind of toil, and therefore he wanted to quickly go to bed and get some rest. In the bed, he finally can have rest for his limbs or his body that is tired. In the third and fourth line, however, after resting his body, his mind starts to wander. Even though he has finished his physical work, but his mind is only starting to think and starting to work. For the second part, which is from line 5 to 8, the speaker explained about his thoughts. He said that his thoughts are not rested, but went on a passionate journey to someone. The speaker that was tired and ready to have some rest became alert and unable to sleep as his mind raced. As his eyes open, he stares into the darkness, just like how blind people see. How does blind people see? Well, just like how the speaker sees, staring into the darkness. Moving on to the third part, which includes line 9 to 12. The speaker states that what he thought of all is just all imaginary. In his imagination, he can see the shadow of the person whom he thought of very clearly. The speaker describes the shadow being like a jewel that shines in the dark night. The shadow not only shone in the night, but also made the black night beautiful, shining its face up from an old look to a new look. Last but not least, we will look at the couplet, which consists of lines 13 and 14. The speaker tells that the speaker is unable to rest at day or at night. In the day, he works physically and finds no rest, while in the night, mentally likewise. Alright guys, that is the meaning of Sonnet 27. Now that we get a gist of what the sonnet means, we can move on to identifying the themes of this poem. Today, I will explain one of the themes in this poem. The theme is that the speaker's mind and body both work equally hard. In the earlier lines, it is said that the speaker is tired after working and chose to find rest in his bed. However, after he went to bed, his mind then starts wandering. In the last two lines, the speaker mentioned that neither his mind nor his body can find rest. This shows how the theme is present throughout the poem. Let us dive deeper into the sonnet as we identify the literary elements in this poem. One of the elements we have on the sonnet is simile. It can be seen in line 11, which states, "which like a jewel hung in ghastly night." Next, we have personification in line 4 on the phrase "to work my mind." We identify it as a personification because how can our minds work? It is not a person, it is not a human, so it can't really work. But the speaker compares our mind to a person, therefore it is a personification. Lastly, in the sonnet we can see a metaphor. The metaphor is in line 6, which reads, "Intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee." It is a metaphor because it is a figure of speech that is not literally true as the speaker's thoughts. It cannot literally go on a passionate journey. It is only in the speaker's mind. It cannot go anywhere. So it is therefore a metaphor. In conclusion, William Shakespeare has portrayed how his people in his times are having troubles in calming down their minds and bodies, just as how we in the modern world have troubles in calming down our bodies and minds too after a hard day's work. So, even though we are having troubles to do so, we must find rest and calm down and always find ways to rest as to not affect our health badly. Now, that's a wrap for our poem dissection session this week. I hope you'll enjoy our content in this video. Tune in next week for more poem dissection in Poem Dissection 101. Until then, wear your mask, stay safe, and happy dissecting!